Sorry about that. I had a phone call come in. I don't want to lose the data. I felt like the first clip was good, so let's keep going. If you don't count the cost, then what you're going to do is you're going to delay the inevitable, and the inevitable is you're going to go into debt. You'll end up selling equity. Now, I know I've been throwing that word around lately. For those of you who are trying to come up and start your own video game company, equity is the process of selling portions of your company to an investor, and they become a decision maker on your team. That's scary for me. I don't want any decision makers on my team except for me. And if I hire people and work alongside them, I don't rule over people. I make suggestions and I talk about it with the team, and we get a general consensus of the community and say, is this a good idea or not? Okay? I don't have all the answers on my team, but you know what? I have a lot of them. So we discuss it, trust the process, and then we move on. So do you have a process? Is that something like I would write down? If you're going to make a 3D model, what is your process in order to make it? Are you looking at it from a concept artist position? And there's two types. You have your 2D concept artist, which draws the stuff out on paper, and you have your 3D concept artist, which starts out in ZBrush. And for the most part, the 3D concept artist pipeline is extremely broken, because if you're starting out in ZBrush and you're saying, oh man, this model looks so amazing, you know what? Your technical director is going to throw a fit if you've got grid back. If your edge loops don't flow with the muscle groups, then that's grid back. That's grid chest or grid arms. You got to have the right edge flow, and ZBrush is not going to be able to do that. If you start out in ZBrush and then you retop, that can help you. I think that is definitely a way that you can deal with that, so you can have the proper edge loops. But if you just build the right tool to begin with, and then export the tool out and then start working on the proper tool, well, then you know what? You're going to be good to go. So, you know, there's a proper pipeline that you have to deal with. So, counting the cost, you've got to be able to budget out your game. So, I've counted the cost, and for me, my magic number is 4 million. 4 million and 50 people. And that's getting the right people involved, and I'm not paying them per hour. That's kind of crazy. Now, I know some of you, and I am putting this on Patreon, okay? Some of you would see, oh my God, these goals are astronomical numbers. You know what? I am paying those people per hour. Now, you might say, oh, that's stupid. You know, I can get artists to do this for piecework. Yes, that's true. But the difference is, I value my people. If you're going to lead them, you've got to be able to lead them and give them the value that they're worth. Now, I'm not undercutting them later. All I'm saying is that I have very expensive artists that I work with, and I don't want to pay them a dime less of what they're worth. I used to do that. I used to hire artists and say, hey man, can you just get this just so we can get the product out? Look, if you treat people like that in the beginning, they're just not going to respect you. They're not going to respect you as a leader. They're gonna feel undervalued. They're not going to feel appreciated. And I can tell you that the artists that we have on our team, because I'm trying to pay them top dollar at every single angle and at every single turn that we have, they're extremely appreciative, and the work and the quality that they have and that they're producing is of the highest caliber of talent that they can give. And so it's my responsibility as a leader, and it's my responsibility as the owner of a company to raise that money for them. That's my responsibility. That's nobody else's responsibility. It's not my responsibility to get an investor. I have to raise the capital. And you know what? When I was younger, I was like, oh man, this is an impossible feature. There's no way I can do this. But see, I was introduced to a different side of business that I never heard about before until about 6 months ago. And let me just tell you this. For those of you who are working hours for dollars, that's not a bad lifestyle. And it's an honorable one. But let's just face it, you can't do that for your whole entire life. People who work hours for dollars, those kinds of people, that business model that they abode by, when you go to Walmart, you meet those people at the front door. Do you want to? I'm not saying that that's going to be your end, okay? But what I'm saying is like, you have to be smarter when you're younger on how you're going to plan for your future. So hours for dollars is one way of doing it. Performance-based is another way of doing it. Performance-based income is, car salesman or furniture salesman. Like, these people are important and they have some value that they give. Now, I know salespeople have some really sleazy reputations. Like, the media paints them out to be these really horrible people. And I have a horrible story. You know, I have a truck. I'm not in it right now. I have my other truck. You know, when I went in, the sticker price was 11 grand. And the salesperson was really, really, really shady. And what he did was he changed the price in the documentation. He changed it to 18,000. And so, in other words, like, I don't know if that was his commission or what the hell happened, but I was so angry that day, and I didn't know what my rights or what the law was, and that I could have traded my car back in and said, hey, you know what? Because there's a time frame that you can give your vehicle back. I didn't know about that. I was too young. I was like in my my early 20s, and I was trying to buy a car for my family. I was just married for 2 years, you know. So, but you know what? There are professional salespeople who are really good people, and I let that bad knowledge of salespeople, I let that rule my life for 10 years. Actually, that's not true. I let it rule my life for 17 years. And you know what? Like, I love my family, but their perspective on salespeople were also pretty poor too because of their bad experiences. So don't learn from those people. I mean, you can learn the lesson and say not to be like them. What you want to do is you want to find a sales mentor that can help you move forward and obtain the correct knowledge of sales so that you can get your product out. All right? So I'm really hoping this video is helping you out. So I have and you know what? There's a third type of marketing that you should be aware of called affiliate marketing. So I know that sometimes when you're hearing something for the first time and you're like not sure, you go back and you research the documentation, you find out whether or not it's good or not. But I can tell you that there are some people who will hold your hand through the process, and there's some people that just say, go look it up. Like, I know I'm one of those people when it comes to biblical stuff, because I want people to do their homework. And you should do your due diligence. I think you should take time to invest in yourself and find out how affiliate marketing can work for you. And there's plenty of YouTubers out there that'll do it. It's not a scam. Like, I thought, well, maybe it is, but you know what? You do enough research long enough and you find out what works for you, then if it works for you, it works for you. So I've learned how to take affiliate marketing and apply it directly into 3D animation, game art and cinematic art. That's for me. That's for me. And that's what I want to do for those people who have never heard of this before. And, I'm willing to hold your hand through it. I can give you all kinds of resources. Like, I'm working on a presentation on how to do all that. It's going to take some time. Look, guys, I'm only 4 weeks into my business. I've been doing this for 17 years, but this is only the end. Today's Friday. This is the end of week 4. Okay, so this means a lot to me that I'm catching some ears and people are paying attention to me. You know, I appreciate everybody who's been on LinkedIn, who's been watching my articles. I appreciate my team for kicking out and pumping out as much work as they can the last 10 weeks. My appreciation level is very high. And, guys, when you know that you're feeling appreciated, people give you things. They give you their time. They give you their resources. They give you their energy. And, I have integrity. I don't want to expel that time or expunge that time. I want people to feel like and know that they can have confidence in me that I can get this for them, because you know what, I feel unstoppable. I haven't had this level of confidence in my ability to produce a video game probably since I was 21 or 22 years old. I'm 38. I turned 38 last month. So, there's just some good knowledge that just really accelerates people and propels them forward. And all I'm trying to do is help some folks out. If you don't think I'm trying to help you out, that's okay. If it's not for you, it's not for you. That's okay. Change the channel. You don't like when somebody's preaching some stuff you don't like, just change the channel. You don't have to get mad. You don't have to get frustrated. You don't have to get mad at Mr. Trump because you don't like what he says. All right, change the channel. 4 years are going to come and go, guys. Somebody else is going to come in and make just as good as mistakes and really shitty ones too. All right, change the channel. Don't let negativity come into your life. When you start surrounding yourself with people who are positive and they're not negative, your whole atmosphere changes. And let me tell you something that I learned extremely important last night. All right? When you go to work and you have a good attitude, it's not for you. Your good attitude is for the other person. You know that you're becoming somebody of stature and somebody of authority when you can go into a situation when somebody is not feeling well and change their attitude. Your attitude can change somebody else's attitude. Okay? So try to remember that. Even when we're on the forums, right? I have to say, okay, not to be negative. I'm not getting what I need, but they're telling me what I need to hear. They're being honest with me. They're telling me what the rules are. And, guys, just to let you know, if you guys are in the Unity forums, I am looking at the rules. But, I'm a special case kind of person because, nobody's done this God and Gaming thing as publicly as I'm doing. And, I'm just trying to find out what I'm allowed to do and what I'm not allowed to do. And you know what? Maybe I made it a little bit too complicated. That's okay. You know what? We're all trying to help each other, and just know that that's where I'm coming from. So I appreciate you guys listening to part 1 and to part 2 of this video. I will be continuing to post some information. I posted a couple articles on LinkedIn. You can find me at YHWH Games ! LLC. So YHWH is YHWH Games. You can also find me at Michael Dan Atah, it's MICHAH''EL space DAN''ATAH. I also use my American name too, which is Vincent M. Donatelli, DONATELLI, 9th generation from Donatello the Stonecutter. You can also find me General Soundwave stuff. I've been posting that for years and years and years. So primary location where you'll find me is on my my DeviantArt account. I love you guys at DeviantArt. You guys have been good to me. I got almost 50,000 followers over the last few years, and it's pretty crazy, amazing. Almost 50,000, and trying to do what I can to change the world and change the community, change my environment, and want to do something different. So I'd also like for you guys, if you guys really want to know how we're changing the world, look into my videos about Woven, widows, orphans, United States and Israeli veterans, those who are in need of emergency assistance, and the neglected. That's a really important project and feature of our business model, built right into how we make our games and what we're going to do to change the world. Okay, guys. Again, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for driving back to the office with me, the home office. Shalom, shalom.